Everybody, welcome back to Whiskey's Adventures. So this episode we're going to be doing a review video on this Pomoly Dome X6 Pro freestanding camping tent. I'm going to find the flattest area in my yard to be able to set this up because it does get a pretty decent footprint on it, and we're back here in my backyard where the woods are, the ground's just not level enough. But in the meantime, while I do that, here's some stats right off Pomoly's website about the tent. Alright, now I got a nice flat location picked out here in my yard. So the bag for the tent itself is a pretty decent sized bag. It's got two little straps here. So once you get everything crammed in there, you can tension it down smaller, which is pretty nice. Inside the bag is the inner tent. Then this is the ground sheet. All the poles, all the stakes, the outer tent. This is like the rain fly that goes on top of it. It's not really a rain fly, it's just meant to keep water from pooling up or snow pooling up in the center of the dome tent. It comes with plenty of straps to guide everything down, and then it comes with your fire jack in here, and then there's one that does not remove from the tent, you cut out. So it's got the inner. I'll show you that in more detail. So that's everything that's inside the bag. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the outer tent set up real quick so you guys can see what that looks like. We got a total of 6 poles, 2, 4, 6, and each end of and they're all the same length. And each end of the pole is notched like this, so it'll fit right into the tent flap. Now I'm gonna get the tent set up. right, now the tent's all set up. Here's the stake that comes with them. Size comparison. So that's the stake. So you got a vent that's got a guideline, and then a couple corners here staked out. Just like this. I don't see any tearing in the material. The material is pretty good. So you got door number 1, you got a window, vent. It's got a rain or a snow skirt all the way across the bottom. So you got those 2 windows, and you got door number 2, window number 3 and 4, again rain skirt, and then door number 3 and window number 5 and 6. And the doors also have a screen tent on it too, so you can open up the doors and create 3 more big access for wind to come through the screening. That's a little rain fly on top. It's not really a rain fly. It's supposed to prevent rain from pooling or snow from pooling up there. I think that's one of my letdowns of this tent. That's not a very good design. It doesn't work very well, because as soon as that material gets wet, it stretches and it gets all loose. It doesn't work well, even if you pull the straps all the way tight. So Pomoly, if you want to change something, figure out a different solution for that, because that's not working out very well. But what we're going to do now is we're going to go inside the tent and give you a tour inside, and then let you see the inside looks like. All right, now that I got everything opened up, it's got a vent there, 2 windows, door number 1, vent number 2, window number 3 and 4, door number 2, window 5 and window 6, vent number 3, and we're back to the first door. It's also got the inner skirt. That way when you put the inner floor in, it kind of overlaps over top that skirt. And then at the top there, you got a little net to hold your lights, your wallet, whatever you want to put up there. Maybe some stuff to dry out. Now, your rain jack comes with this solid. I had to cut my own hole in it. I'm not going to set my stove up for this review, but it goes through, and then there's a jacket on the outside you open up and unzip. Let's go show you that real quick. Here on the outside, you got zippers here. And you unzip it, and then it's got this little hoop and a drawstring, so you can roll this back and keep it tucked away from your chimney flue or your chimney pipe, so it doesn't catch on fire. We are dealing with a little bit of rain today, so I'm just going to go ahead and close that back up, keep it sealed up, and then go back inside the tent. All right, so I have used this tent a couple times. It's only been on this channel once. I took the tent out for a camping trip because Pomoly did send me this tent for free. In exchange, I had to make a video with the tent in the video, so I satisfied that contract and released that. That video will be right here somewhere at the end of this entire review video if you want to check out that camping trip with my daughter and her boyfriend. Another issue I have found with this Pomoly tent, I don't know where it leaks from, but somewhere either around the door or window it leaks. I camped in it and we had some pretty heavy rain, and on top of this flap down here, the internal flap, there was a pool of water sitting on the lower end of the tent. ain't real big of a deal because it is a floorless tent, so it was real easy for me to drain it off, but it was leaking from either a window or a door seam somewhere in there. I couldn't track down where it was coming from. I didn't have enough light in the tent, but it does have a leak somewhere, which is kind of a letdown for, in my opinion, for Pomoly products, because they got, you know, pretty high quality products. But they do come with a 100% quality warranty, so if it was that big of a deal to me, I could report it to them and they would either replace the tent, or if I was a purchaser of the tent, they would refund my money. So, but outside of that, that's the only two issues I've ever found with this tent, is it does leak a little bit, and then that, what they're calling a rain fly up on top, the snow skirt, rain skirt, whatever you want to call that, on top of the tent. Once it gets wet, once time it gets loose, and water still pools up there. So they need to think of another way to do that. So now what we're going to do is, the next part of this tent is there is a ground sheet that comes with the Pro. That also has a fire mat built into it for your hot stove. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and get that set up. Let me show you the specs of that, why I pull that into the tent. Alright, so we got the inner floor in here now. I'll go ahead and show you around in here with the floor on real quick. Alright, here in the floor, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 buckle locations, just like this. Makes the inner floor sit on top of that loop, or the inner slide of the tent down here. And you can see right here is where my water was standing on my last camping trip. I used this tent, and all I had to do is pull it back like that, and the water drained off. But who knows where it was leaking from. Here's your fireproof material, which is stationed right underneath the stove jack for the tent. So having access to 3 doors made putting this in here real easy. Just open up all 3 doors so you don't have to stand on the mat, and you can fold it all out. When I fold this up, I fold it up in such a way so the next time I use the tent, I just gotta find where the gray is for the weatherproof or the fireproofing material. So I know it's underneath the stove jack, and then normally the way I roll it up, as you all seen, it rolls out nice and easy, and I can clip it in with the doors open. So on this side of the tent here, there's going to be an inner tent. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to show you the specs of the inner tent, and then we're going to go ahead and set that up as well. That's the inner tent. It's all blacked out here. All right, so the door that leads into where the fire room, I'm just gonna call it, right, where the stove would sit, it does not have a screen. It's a blackout, right? So if you get too hot, you just close that and it'll kind of block the heat off you a little bit, but either way, that's just a blackout. I personally think that Pomoly should have done a screen door there because they didn't, I think it should have been a screen door, not a blackout tent, but you know, who knows. The good thing about this little tent in here though, inside the screen part, it does have another screen door here to actually shoot to both doors on both sides. And then you got a little panel here, so you're able to get in and out to close up that and the windows. So, and then you got a little pocket here, which you can store your phone if you're sleeping in the screen part here. It's also got a pocket down there. Now, a full-size cot will fit in here. No problem. You can get one cot in here, or you can get two people sleeping on a air mattress or something to that effect. To be truthful with you, if you're not really tall, you could probably fit 3 people in here sleeping this way, but I'm 5'11", almost 6 foot tall. I couldn't sleep this way. I'd have to sleep this way. So maybe some children could sleep this way, right? But you can get 2 adults in here, or at least one full-size cot. Now, usually, the couple of times I have used this tent, I have not set up the inner tent yet because the temperatures were still cool enough when I used it where I didn't have a bug problem. That's what makes this tent a good 4 seasons tent, because in the hotter months where you're not using a hot stove, you close off the flat for your stove up top there, you open up all your windows, you got plenty of airflow, and then you got this inner tent, so when you go to bed at night, none of the bugs can get into the tent because they can't crawl up underneath the floor because it's not really a true like bathtub style tent, right? Because the floor removes. But it's pretty cool. It's a pretty nice tent. So just a quick recap, a couple things I didn't like about the tent. One is the rain fly on top, because once it gets wet one time, the material kind of stretches and it doesn't hold its tension, and water can still pool up top. It does have a leak somewhere. I believe it's this side of my tent. Because it's not a true bathtub tent where the inside has to stay 100% dry, it's nothing I'm going to, you know, pick up the phone or send an email and call Pomoly and say, hey, can you send me a replacement one that doesn't leak? Because it's not a real big deal for me with this particular tent. So that's not a huge deal. That's the main 2 things I was kind of disappointed about the tent. But overall, we're pretty happy with the tent. Hope you all enjoyed this little review video. I know when I took the tent out camping, the only video I have on my channel with this tent, I'm camping in it. I had a couple comments of people saying they wish they got more, be able to see the tent more. So hopefully you all were happy with the review video. I'm going to go ahead and do one more walk around outside. We got it back in the bag. As you can see, wasn't that big of a deal. It's a little bit of a pain, but I honestly don't think the inner tent is supposed to go inside this big bag because that's not how it was shipped to me. But I managed to get everything in there. Again, y'all, appreciate y'all watching. Don't forget to leave us a comment, hit the thumbs up, and hit the subscribe button. Until next time, y'all, you guys already know how we do it. Holla at your boy.